Back with another info video. This one is about buttons, and they don't work. They're broken and they suck. Their settings don't really matter aside from about 3. The 3 settings, maybe 4, matter. The rest are broken. They don't work. 343 has not set them up. They won't set them up yet for some reason, because I guess they're busy with the AI adding to Forge, all that good stuff. It is what it is. But the way it is it's kind of hard for us to map out things that we want. So I'm going to make this video to show you, how to get the buttons to do what you want, to where you can turn them off, then on, based on what you want to do, rather than having them always off, or always being able to be used, or one-time use. What if you don't want it to be just those 3 things? You can do one or the other. So I'm going to give a shout out to the guys over at the Discord, because they helped figure this whole thing out. We talked about it for a bit, and I came to the conclusion, hey, I need to cover this so we can get this out of the way and make sure that your buttons are functioning the way you want them to. This also will help with the multiple button triggers for creating an event. The tutorial I did a few days ago, this one kind of goes hand in hand. You can kind of make it work that way. So let's get right into it and see what we can do with these buttons. Okay, the thing about buttons is they're broken, like I said in the intro, and none of these settings really matter. The only ones that matter are one-time use, initially empowered, initially disabled, and maybe some of these others. I haven't really messed with them, but like these really don't do anything. Ping line marker, you can select all these and they give you no options. Like it doesn't, there's nothing there. Not sure why it's like that, but it is what it is. So we're gonna talk about how to work around that a little bit. Obviously buttons, you can have them set to one-time use, to where they're, you can use it and then it's gone for good. It will just sit there and do nothing else. Then you can have it set to where you can where it's initially on. Make sure it's on with both of these, and then it would work. And then you can set it to one-time use off, and then you can use it as many times as you want. But not everybody wants to do that. Some people want to use a button, and then the button is done, but they want something else to happen in their map that makes it reactivate. So to do this fix requires 2 buttons, actually. One is going to be called button on, and one is going to be called button off. The settings for this one is basically just like any other button. You want one-time use off, initially empowered off, and initially disabled off. That's why you can use this whenever you want, however many times you want. Which you're probably thinking, why are we doing that if we only want to use it once and then something else trigger it to be able to be used again? Well, you'll see. Button off is the exact opposite of that. You're going to want to make sure that it's initially empowered and initially disabled is on, and one-time use is on. This don't really matter since it won't be enabled in the first place. I have a reset button over here just to reset it instead of using a timer, just to make it easier. But what this is going to do, we're going to spawn this AI right here. I've already got the script set up and I'll just explain it as we go, but just to make it easier on time. But when you do this, you're going to put them together. Make sure they're named, and make sure you already have them pulled into your node graph. So go ahead and select both of them like that, bring them in here, bring them in with Y and all that stuff, and then grab this, bring it over, and make sure it's kind of like one object even though there's 2 of them there. You'll see why we do that. So what we're going to do is I set it up this way. On game start, delete the button off. So that way it's not there at all. You can't interact with it or anything, and it won't get in the way of anything. Technically, you may not have to do that. I just do it for, efficiency purposes, in case, something goes wrong and you can't interact with the on button because this one's in the way or something. So I just do it like that. So just make sure that on game start, the delete object, it deletes the off button. On object interacted is what we're going to be using, and we use the button on. So obviously we want something to happen when we press the button, and that is, for me, I'm going to spawn a grunt. That's all I'm doing right here. I'm spawning a grunt, and when we press the button, we're going to delete the on button. That way the on button is gone, and you can't interact with it, you can't see it, can't do anything. And then you can use the spawn object to spawn the off button. So yeah, when you activate this button, delete the on button, spawn the off button. And when that happens, it will look like the button never moved. Even though they are two different buttons, they don't look any different. That you can't tell that they moved. Nothing disappears. So it appears as if the button just turns off. And of course, you're going to want whatever script you have to run after this right here. So let's test that out. Nothing's happening. We can activate the button. There's a grunt. We cannot activate the switch again. But yeah, I didn't have it set to one-time use either. So let me explain this last part right here. This is just my reset button. Whenever I press it, this is basically the event that you want to happen that would reset the button to be able to be activated again. So if it's a timer, you just use a timer. You know, yeah, anything that would just create, all that good stuff. Anyway, it may be even after this. If it's a timer, you can just do it after in the same string right here, the same line of script. You could set a timer right here, wait for n seconds. After 30 seconds, then delete spawn or whatever, because that's what we do here. Is on object interacted, if I push this button, it will delete the off button and spawn the on button. So that way we can use the button once again. So let me go ahead and do this. He spawned. Nothing. Can't interact with it, but if I press the reset button, button's still there. Press it again. It works again. And then we can't use it again until we reset it, or whatever event you want to happen to reset your button. And it's really simple stuff. It is a fix, and unfortunately we have to go this way around without actually going to the properties, but it's a fix nonetheless. And there it is. Those are the buttons, and how to kind of find a way around getting them to turn off and then on again, based on what you want to do, instead of just having them always off, have them only one-time use, or have them to where they are always just able to be pressed no matter what. And it's annoying that we have to go away like around this way, but it is what it is. And I'm sure maybe down the road, I mean, Forge has been only out for a year, so they've got time. They know that these things are wrong. They're adding AI, they're doing all this other cool stuff, so it's okay. We do have ways around it, so it's not like we're hard pressed for it. But I did want to talk about it because a lot of people have trouble with buttons and all that good stuff. So all right, that'll cover it for this time, and I'll see you on the next one.